Hello, friends, and welcome back to Movies, Munches, and Moscato. I am Rhonda.
And I'm Rochelle.
And we're just a couple of friends who love movies, television, and wine. So if that is something that interests you, please stick around and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And now it's time for movie news, reviews, and pulp culture discussion. Black Widow is now, of course, has been pushed back again. It is now coming out on July 9th. And then Cruella will now premiere on May 28th. So both of these things are going to be in theaters. And Black Widow and Cruella will also be on Disney Plus the same day it's released. They're doing that HBO Max thing again. So you will have to pay the $30 fee though to watch it through Disney Plus, unfortunately.
You know, they keep doing that, so it must be very popular. I guess if you have a big family,
then the money probably makes sense in that. But if you're just a single person, it's like I'll just go to the theater and watch it and pay the cheaper price.
And you're watching it on a bigger TV. So.
Right? Exactly.
Bigger TV, a bigger
screen. So I'm looking forward to both of these movies. So I'll just see it in theaters. So it's fine.
I really like the trailer of Cruella. I think
it looks good.
I couldn't see Emma Stone in that part when I first heard about it. But then I saw the trailer. She's awesome. I think she'll be really good.
Yeah, I think she'll really too. You're right. I have the same feeling. Also, The King's Man has been pushed back to December 22nd. So now it will be a holiday release.
Oh, for the love.
That's one I've been looking forward to for a while. It's like it was going to be released in January. Then it got pushed to summer. And now it's in December. So hopefully that's it. And I will look forward to seeing it then. We all can. Pierce Brosnan has joined the Black Adam movie playing Dr. Fate. He joins the already cast roles of Black Adam, who's being played by Dwayne Johnson, and then also Aldous Hodge, who's been cast as Hawkman. And also Noah Centineo is in that as well. So that is a comic book I'm not familiar with. I'll have to check with my dad, I guess, to see what that one's even about. But it sounds like a good cast. So.
Oh, yeah, that'll be great. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I'm looking forward to that one, too.
Amanda Seyfried will star in The Dropout, and she's replacing Kate McKinnon in that movie. It is about the Theranos founder, Elizabeth Holmes, and everything she did with defrauding, everybody.
Oh,
So, like I said, Kate McKinnon was originally supposed to star in it. I'm not sure why she is no longer doing it, but I think Amanda Seyfried, she looks similar as well to the real life Elizabeth, so she'll be a good fit, I think.
Well, and she looks like my daughter, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that is true. George R. Martin is developing a play that takes place 16 years before Game of Thrones with the young Ned Stark and Jaime Lannister in something called the Great Tourney Contest. The fact that this is going to be a stage play is interesting. I can't imagine that. So, and I don't think he's ever written a play before, so...
A play? Where will this play be?
I think it's supposed to be for Broadway, honestly.
I was going to say, Broadway, and then I guess if it's a hit, they'll tour. Who knows?
Right, exactly. I don't know. It sounds... Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And if it's good, they might make it into a TV series as well. Or a movie.
True. Maybe get to see it on, something like that. Disney Plus, where Hamilton.
Right, yeah, that's true. Hamilton played. That's true.
That one I would do.
Right. Sylvester Stallone is working on a Rocky prequel as a series. Woo! This might be interesting. He said he was envisioning it like a 10 episode a season series, just being more involved with the individual characters outside of him, concentrating on them, which I think sounds interesting. So if you're a Rocky fan, I can see this working out. Yeah. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Donald Faison of Scrubs fame has been cast as Professor Utonium in the live-action Powerpuff Girls. This is the series that apparently isn't going to quit. So
no, it's
we are in for the ride on that one. So as I said, I never watched it. I guess I'm not the age group, but
well, I know I'm not watching it.
But I do like him. But. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait till more comes about it.
You know what? I'll have my daughter watch it. She used to love the Powerpuff Girls.
Okay, yeah.
So,
And then she can tell us. And
Yes.
then maybe she can come on and be a guest and talk about that with us. That'd be fun.
Right. That would be great.
So this week we went and saw the movie Nobody. So we just like to talk about that a little bit and give a little review. So this starred Bob Odenkirk about an everyday,
Now, what other shows has he been in?
I just
Some
know
people
of Better Call Saul right now,
Oh,
which I
yeah,
guess was a
Better Call
spinoff
Saul.
of that other show I never watched. Why am I forgetting its name?
The, the Hells, nope.
Nope.
Hell's Angels came to mind, and that has nothing to do with anything except a motorcycle game.
Right? That's so funny. Breaking Bad. There we go.
Breaking
It
Bad,
just
that's
came
what
to
I
me.
was going to say.
So yes, that is what he's from. So he's just playing an everyday father and husband, just going through his day-to-day life, and then he has a break-in at his house, and that's where things start to change and come about. So I just really like the action that takes place in the movie, and also just seeing the relationship he has, with his wife, and learning what she does and doesn't know, and it's very brief interaction with his kids, but that was so nice to see as well. And with his dad as well, that's played by Christopher Lloyd.
Which I thought he looked really old.
Oh, yeah, he did actually, yeah. It's been a while since you've seen that man.
I like him so much. I used to see him, and he's kind of a wacky guy, and Back to the Future and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name in Back to the Future?
Doc. I just remember him calling him Doc.
That's right, Doc. So for all of you people who love Back to the Future, it's him. He's in it, and it's great. Anyway, continue on.
Oh, no, so I was just going to say, so for me, I actually would give it 5 wine corks. It was pretty enjoyable. And like I said, the action was really quite good.
I like the storyline because I kept wondering, who is this guy? Is this guy even somebody? No, he's nobody. Anyway, yeah, it was interesting, and it had some comedy to it too.
That's
I think
true.
you and I kind of laughed out loud a few times. So,
That's true.
I agree. I thought it was really good. I would give it 4 wine corks only because, it was like not the best show I've ever seen. So, but I did enjoy it. So there you go. That's my take on it.
Okay, good. Movies and TV shows out this week. You have Godzilla vs. Kong, which will be in theaters and HBO Max. It has Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Rebecca Hall, and Kyle Chandler. And this is just the next chapter in the MonsterVerse that pits 2 of the greatest icons against one another.
I'll just cry in it, I'm sure. Because I don't want either one of them to lose.
Oh, there you go. Like I said, I didn't enjoy the last one that much, but I'll check this out on HBO Max. It's not one I would go to the theaters for.
Oh, that's true.
Since,
watch it on HBO Max.
Since you can see that one. So, yeah, we'll have to see what we think on that. And also, The Unholy. This is just going to be in theaters, and it has Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and it's about a hearing-impaired girl who is visited by the Virgin Mary and can suddenly hear, speak, and heal the sick. As people flock to witness her miracles, terrifying events unfold. Are they the work of the Virgin Mary or something much more sinister?
And we saw the trailer on that.
We did.
And it was pretty creepy. Now, I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. But I don't know. What was your take on it?
Yeah, it did look creepy. It's not something that I would want to see, honestly.
So that means you're not going to go with me to see it?
No, probably not. It gave me that vibe of...
Sinister.
No, I never saw that. It's this other movie. Why am I forgetting the name? It had Gabriel Byrne in it, but I can't think of what.
The Nun? No.
No. You got to think early 2000s.
Oh.
I haven't seen Gabriel Byrne in anything, like, honestly.
Who's Gabriel Byrne?
Okay, and
Sorry.
no, it's okay. Right now, I can't think of other things he's been in, although he did do a lot. But right now, I can't think of everything he's been in. But anyway, if it comes to me, I'll have to spit it out. But anyway, He played a priest in it, and it was kind of the same vibe. And I just remember it wasn't that creepy, but I remember it not being that good either. So anyway, that's what I had thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I could see where this could probably go that direction too. But I don't know. It did catch my attention. I mean, it's right up my alley, as you all know. So
that's definitely true.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Gabriel Byrne, right. The Usual Suspects.
Oh, yes, that's true.
The
He
Man
was
in
one.
the Iron Mask.
Yes,
Oh,
that was
yeah,
a good
these
one.
are long ago. Hereditary, End of Days, Stigmata.
That's it. Stigmata. That was the one.
Yes, right.
Yes, that's the one I was
And
thinking
Little
of.
Women, back from 1994.
Oh, yeah, the one with Winona Ryder.
Yep. Miller's Crossing.
Never heard of that.
I think I've only seen a few of these, to be honest. So, huh. But anyway, yeah.
So that's what it reminded me of when I said, it was like Stigmata.
Okay,
That's
Stigmata.
true. So what we've been watching this week, I watched this series called The One on Netflix. There was no one really well known in it, but it was just about this lady. She and a friend find a way to do matchmaking through DNA. So basically, in a scientific way, they put two DNAs, through some database, and it finds you who your perfect match is in the universe. And then, of course, they could live anywhere, and it's up to you. You can choose to send your DNA in and try and get matched or not. And so it's just all about the chaos that ensues around some people who choose to do it, who don't, and then also what's going on in her personal and professional life. So it was interesting. I guess apparently it's based on a book, but from what I'm hearing, it differs quite a lot from the book. So, yeah, it had a pretty distinct ending, but I can see where if they were to do a second season, where it could go. So
Yeah, I've seen that too. I've been intrigued, but I haven't started watching it yet because I told you I'd watch Behind Her Eyes first.
Oh,
so,
right.
Anyway, but it does look good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. At first, I was like, huh. It took this till the second episode really to get like invested in it. It didn't grab you from the first, but it was pretty good.
Okay.
And then One Night in Miami on Amazon. This is the movie directed by Regina King that had actors playing, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, and Jim Brown. And so it was a fictional meeting based on a play that was written about these four coming together to help see what they could do for civil rights at the time. So it was just it was very interesting. There was a lot to think about. It was interesting to think about had they really ever come together, and actually talked about these things, what possibly could have happened.
Wow. So it's kind of what if,
Mm-hmm.
in a way?
Yeah. And it was thought-provoking, just seeing little snippets of their lives before the meeting takes place. And it kind of just ends without showing it, but just saying that 2 days after, is when Malcolm X was killed.
Yes.
And then kind of goes from there. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. This was a movie I would give 4 wine corks to. It's worth a watch.
Oh, good.
So, and then finally, I watched this other movie called The Informer, also on Amazon. This had Joel Kinnaman in it, from The Killing fame. I feel like he's everywhere lately.
Oh, right.
I just saw him in the Suicide Squad trailer as well. I was like, he's just everywhere. Anyway, I was just scrolling through and I was like, I remember hearing about this movie like a year ago, and then I guess with COVID it kind of fell out of my mind. But anyway, it's on Amazon. It's about a convicted felon who agrees to go undercover for the FBI in order to catch a mafia boss. So it actually was really good. It was one of those kind of under the radar action drama movie. Not too much action. It was mainly a drama. So, but I liked it. I did not like the ending. Unfortunately, didn't like it at all. But but it was a good movie. So I'd also give this one 4 wine corks.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, good. So what I've watched this week, aside from Nobody that we went to see yesterday, I watched On the Basis of Sex, which is the story of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it's with Felicity Jones and Arnie Hammer. Also Justin Theroux. How do you say his name?
Theroux. Mm-hmm.
Theroux. Okay.
Yeah.
Who, as we all know, was married to Jennifer Aniston at one point in time. Anyway, it's an excellent show. I thought it was. it really, like, I knew who Ruth Bader Ginsburg is. I know what she has given to women and what she's done for us.
Right.
But you don't really know her life story and what she went through to get to where she was. I mean, she was married to her husband for a long time, and he had an accident or got real sick at a young age, and they were both in law school. So not only was she going to school herself, to a very prestigious school, I believe it was Stanford, and that's kind of where her and her husband met, but she was one of like 4 women who was offered some kind of a, gosh, sorry, I'm losing my words here. Use your words. Anyway, she and these 4 other women were accepted into their prestigious law school.
Oh, wow.
And the dean asked the women, it was a certain dinner that they were all to go to, and there were the 4 women and the rest were men, and they were asked to stand up and tell a little bit about themselves and why it is that they're taking a man's place. And so right then, as she watched these women stand up, and of course they're trying to talk about their excitement and their passion for law, he cuts them off, so they don't really get to say anything. And it gets to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and she says to him that the reason she wanted to go into law is because she feels like she could be a help to her husband, who was also attending law school. And he just kind of looked at her, kind of like, touche. But I think she was playing the game. Anyway, she was a phenomenal woman, as we all know. She did a lot for equal rights, and especially for women. And it was really good. So if you haven't seen that show, or if you'd like to watch it, it's interesting. It's called On the Basis of Sex. Okay. And then the other one that I watched, which is a documentary, and it's called Kissed by God. It's the Andy Irons documentary. And I loved this documentary. If you like surfing, which I think a lot of people do, but we don't get to see a lot of it, this is about Andy Irons, who was a championship surfer, and where he came from in life, he and his brother. They both lived on the island of Kauai, and parents divorced, kind of a turbulent childhood. And as they and his dad bought him surfboards, and that's pretty much what they do. Go to school, surf. Go to school, surf. Anyway, they became phenomenal surfers at very young ages. In fact, they started the tour, the surfing championship tour, before they were even out of high school.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of led him down a road, as we all know, that can be really bad for kids. And so, which would be drugs, alcohol, and life in general. So I really enjoyed this. Of course, if you know who Andy Irons is, he had a lot of demons, and they just got more pronounced and more profound as the older he got. So to watch his life and kind of what happened is really, really interesting. So I was able to get this on demand, and I thought it was an excellent show. So if you're interested in surfing, and you can see some amazing surfing championships, I really highly suggest this show. I give it 5 wing corks. I've seen it twice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So.
Check it out. And now for our next real life versus reality series, we are going to talk about Hidden Figures.
Yay, woo!
This is a movie from 2016. So it was an American biographical drama film directed by Theodore Melfi and written by Melfi and Allison Schroeder. It is loosely based on the 2016 nonfiction book of the same name by Margot Lee Shartley about African-American female mathematicians who worked at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration during the space race. So this stars Taraji P. Henson as Katherine Johnson, a mathematician who calculated flight trajectories for Project Mercury and other missions. Also features Octavia Spencer as NASA supervisor and mathematician Dorothy Vaughan, and then Janelle Monáe as NASA engineer Mary Jackson, along with Kevin Costner, Kirsten Dunst, Jim Parsons, Mahershala Ali, Aldous Hodge, and Glenn Powell in supporting roles. So I really, really like this movie. I am one of those people who honestly had no idea all that was happening during the space race. I had no idea these ladies were working and helping and how much they contributed to all that at the time. So this was a great learning lesson for me personally. And I just thought it was really well done and well told. And I thought all the actors did a really, really good job on this.
Oh, I agree. It's one of my favorites. I've probably seen it 5 times. And then any time it's on TV, I'll watch it. I just loved it.
Right? It's a really good movie for those who haven't seen it. Yes, I did too, actually. So yeah, it's just a really good show. So in real life, just some things that the movie wasn't quite the same, which really happened. So the film was set at NASA Langley Research Center in 1961 and depicted segregated facilities such as the West Area Computing Unit, where an all-black group of female mathematicians were originally required to use separate dining and bathroom facilities. However, in reality, Dorothy Vaughan was promoted to supervisor of West Computing in 1949, becoming the first black supervisor of the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics and one of the few female supervisors. So in 1958, when NACA became NASA, segregated facilities, including the West Computing Office, were abolished. So Dorothy Vaughan and many of the former West computers transferred to the new Analysis and Computation Division, a racially and gender integrated group. So that isn't such a big deal. I think that's awesome that it wasn't really as bad as maybe it was depicted in the movie. Right. So that was good to know. Also, Catherine Catherine Goebel was the one who had to find her own way to a colored bathroom, which did exist on the east side. She was originally unaware that the east side bathrooms were segregated and then used the unlabeled whites only bathroom for years before anyone even complained. When someone did complain, she ignored the complaint and the issue was dropped. In an interview that the real Katherine Johnson did, she denied the feeling of segregation, saying, "I didn't feel the segregation at NASA because everybody there was doing research. You had a mission and you worked on it, and it was important to do your job and play bridge at lunch. I didn't feel any segregation. I knew it was there, but I just didn't feel it."
Wow, that's good.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's good. It's like they were just there to do a job. Everyone, I guess, was just in agreement in that environment anyway. And so, they just agreed to do what they had to do and move on with their lives.
Yeah, well, that makes me feel better.
Also, Mary Jackson did not have to get a court order to attend night classes at the whites-only high school. She asked the city of Hampton for an exception, and it was granted. The school turned out to be run down and dilapidated, a hidden cost of running 2 parallel school systems. She completed her engineering courses and earned a promotion to engineer in 1958. Well, that's awesome. So she just had to ask for an exception, and it was granted. So no court order needed. But that's okay.
Really? Which
yes.
She went before a judge in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was like that in the book. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, it's true.
The adaptation, from the book. Who knows? But, yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's good news. Okay. So, Catherine Goebel Johnson carpooled with Eunice Smith, a 9-year West End computer veteran at the time Catherine joined NACA. Smith was her neighbor and friend from sorority and church choir. The 3 Goebel children were teenagers at the time of Catherine's marriage to Jim Johnson. And he that was played by Mahershala, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, Catherine Goebel Johnson was assigned to the Flight Research Division in 1953, a move that soon became permanent. When the Space Task Group was created in 1958, engineers from the Flight Research Division formed the core of the group, and Catherine moved along with them. She co-authored a research report in 1960, the first time a woman in the Flight Research Division had received credit as an author of a research report. And in the movie, she would put her name on the report, and then they would take it off. And then she put it on, because she did it, and they would take it off.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
That maybe it sounds like that part of it was true.
Oh, okay.
So then, now this I find really interesting. Catherine gained access to editorial meetings as of 1958 simply through persistence, but not because one particular meeting was critical as it was depicted in the movie.
Oh.
So that's interesting.
Well, that's interesting.
Because in the movie, of course, it was just one, but I'm sure they couldn't.
Well,
they didn't have time to put every meeting in. The Space Task Group was led by Robert Gilruth, not the fictional character Al Harrison, who was created to simplify a more complex management structure.
Oh.
Okay.
Makes sense.
The scene where Harrison smashes the colored ladies' room sign, I love that part where he went out there and just busted that thing down because Catherine was having to run somewhere else to go to the bathroom.
Right.
It never happened. She just went to the white one, as you were talking about in the beginning. And that kind of was a bummer to me because that was such a poignant part in the show for me. However, Harrison also lets her into the mission control room to witness the launch. Remember that? That
Right,
was
that's
a big
true.
deal. She was just standing out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, neither one of these scenes actually happened in real life. Possibly real life. And screenwriter Theodore Melfi said he saw no problem with adding the scene, saying, there needs to be white people who do right things. There needs to be black people who do the right thing. And someone just to do the right thing. And so who cares who does the right thing? As long as the right thing is achieved.
That's true. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, yeah.
Yes, it does.
I agree. We all know there's going to be some artistic license, so if that has to happen, then hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
Also, the fictional characters of Vivian Mitchell and Paul Stafford are composites of several team members and reflects common social views and attitudes of the time. Carl Zelinsky is based on Mary Jackson's mentor, Kazimierz Czarnecki. It's a very interesting name I can't pronounce very well. But that's cool. It's a composite, which they do that all the time with different movies. So that makes sense. You know, I get why they may have done that. So,
right. And it's Hollywood,
right?
right?
Yeah.
You can't. You just gotta wonder.
Yeah, that's true.
So John Glenn, who was about a decade older than depicted at the time of the launch, did ask specifically for Johnson to verify the IBM calculations. Remember that? He's on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wants to know. He's like, he's not even trusting the IBM computer. Although she had several days before the launch date to complete the process. And that makes me feel so much better because can you imagine the pressure on her?
Right.
She had 5 minutes to figure it out.
That's true. Yes.
But just the fact that it was done and that he asked for it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And John Glenn's flight was not terminated early as incorrectly stated in the movie's closing subtitles. The MA6 mission was planned for 3 orbits and landed at the expected time. The press kit published before launch states that the Mercury operations director may elect a 1, 2, or 3 orbit mission. The post-mission report also shows that retrofire was scheduled to occur on the 3rd orbit.
Oh.
Scott Carpenter's subsequent flight in May was also scheduled and flew for 3 orbits, and Walter Shiraz, how do you say that? Shiraz planned 6 orbit flight in October, required extensive modifications to the Mercury capsule's life support system to allow them to fly a 9-hour mission. Holy hell.
Right? That's that is crazy. Oh my gosh. The Mercury Control Center was located at Cape Canaveral, Florida, not at the Langley Research Center in Virginia. The orbit plots displayed in the front of the room incorrectly show a 6-orbit mission, which did not actually happen until Walter Schirra's MA8 mission in October of 1962. The movie also incorrectly shows NASA flight controllers monitoring a live telemetry from the Soviet Vostok launch, which the Soviet Union would not have been sharing with NASA in the year of 1961.
Right, because it's a space race.
Right, that's true. That's interesting, though. They didn't just. I am surprised they would bother even changing the location like that.
Right.
Like, why not just leave it at Cape Canaveral? But okay.
Right.
You know.
This is true.
So that's just a few of the things that weren't quite the same as in real life, but that's okay because the movie was still good, and the point was to show at least some of what actually happened. So as someone was quoted as saying that the film was about 74% accurate, but any events that didn't actually happen are at least illustrative of how things really were at the time. So I agree with that.
Yeah,
So.
me too. So for those of you who maybe haven't seen this movie and you're a little lost by this, it's an excellent movie, and please watch it. Especially, if you're a fan of these types of movies, it was excellent. So
Yes,
I
I agree.
I cried in this one. Anyhow.
Probably have tears of joy.
Yes. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. We had a fun time and hope you enjoyed it as well. Please give us a review or comment, as it really helps us out. And please follow us on Instagram at movies_munchies_moscato. And we will see you next time. Thanks for hanging.
See you guys.